All right, beautiful people. Welcome back to another amazing and impactful episode of the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game. And as usual, I have with me the hoop earring wearing, the self-love popping, the in and out of the podcast, always just barely on time queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
That's me. Right,
That's you, factually.
I was in the other room. It's not like I'm coming. Okay. What's up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka
The
Health Nerd. And here on the day before Thanksgiving for us right now.
Yes.
When by the time you listen to this, turkey would have been had.
Twice.
3 times, 4 times.
4 times. Yeah.
But I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Why are you so excited, Queen?
Because we don't eat meat on a regular basis, so we decide when we're gonna allow ourselves to eat meat, which is holidays, aka Thanksgiving. So that's a big one, and it's always been one of my favorite holidays for the food specifically.
Right.
I mean, and family, of course.
Agreed.
Love them too, but food.
Yeah, y'all saw that family was an afterthought. You saw that, right? Mom, dad, grandma, nana. All right, cool. So let's do a short check-in because we do have a special guest for y'all today. So we do want to get to the guests, but as usual, a nice kind of a frequency check-in with the Queen. How are you doing? How you feeling? How are your vibes?
Let's switch things up. You go first.
Oh, okay. Swerve. I'm feeling pretty good. It could be because we have an early week and today is Friday. So, you know, that definitely helps. Second, we did finally launch the self-love sweatsuits. About time. It's been a year in the making. I did go through the pictures and you made your drawing a little over a year ago. So yeah, it took a year for the Queen to write it out, design it, give it to Markel. Markel put his final touches on it. Boom, give it to the designer. Boom, they go ahead and manufacture.
I mean, we also weren't working on it throughout the whole time. Like we had a time frame, like, oh, we're gonna launch this in September of next year. So if you're trying to launch a clothing brand, like we're not saying it's going to take a year. It might take a year, but it doesn't have to take a year. We were specific with the timing. Right. But yeah, it's really, really exciting.
Well done. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the squad. If you want to get your self-love sweatsuit, go ahead and head to truehealth4ever.com. Get your sweatsuit. Our special guest already got his. It's put in the mail. We appreciate you. But yeah, it's been a pretty solid week. It is crunch time for UC applications as well. So that means I've been getting a lot of emails from my job doing that stuff. But yeah, it's the end of that now. So whoop. Yep. How about you?
It's been good. It feels weird. This week feels weird because it is a short week and there's a holiday, but like I still had a lot of work to do, both at work and like MBA work. So I am almost there. One of my classes is officially done. Like I turned in my last assignment last night.
Bang.
That one's done. Finishing up the last couple assignments, and then I got my final exam to do by Sunday.
This Sunday?
Then, yeah. Okay. And after, I'm lying, that's not it. Because I still have another homework assignment. Who makes a homework assignment due after the final?
Couldn't tell you.
Anyways, but after that, I'm done. I'm free, and I will have my MBA.
Yes, we will have our MBA.
Yes,
hard work was put in to get this degree. So if you are listening to this, listen to it live. It's towards the end of the year. And we all know that at the beginning of years, 2021's coming around the corner. Some people are looking for that little extra oomph, little extra motivation, whether it's starting your business, whether it's getting your own personal health together, whether it's getting just situated in your own career. Either way it goes, you need some kind of that driving force behind you. You need that team behind you to give you some wise words, to give you some motivation, to take yourself to the next level. And that's exactly who we have on here today. So we're going to get right into the episode. here we have the FYB Fire Your Boss King himself, also one of the co-hosts of the Ivy League podcast, Richmond, California native and Chico State alumni, Josiah Greer. Welcome to the podcast, my brother.
Oh, what's going on? Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Especially we was in sync with that. You know what I'm saying? I was legit. I was feeling that.
Yeah, it's a nice little transition. It gets you like, all right, let's go.
But you got to have it with someone who can actually dance. All of other people, they didn't even try. I respect it though. But welcome to the podcast. Let's hop right into it. Can you talk a little bit about FYB? What is Fire Your Boss? What is the movement, the energy, and how are y'all helping people out there?
Yeah, so FYB, which, like you said, it stands for Fire Your Boss. What we're trying to do is allow people to understand the power that they have within themselves. A lot of times we think that, there are people that are in charge of us, but in reality, and I think in this society that we have now, we're becoming more woke and realizing our actual power, our abilities. And so we just teach people that, you're your most important person to you. There's nobody that can really dictate what you do with you other than you. And so we're just trying to encourage people to remember that, yes, you may have somebody that you work with to get certain economic advantages, but you don't work for anybody. You work for yourself. You are your own boss. I even, when I'm talking to some of my employees, I tell them, I say, I'm not your boss, I'm your supervisor. I think language is important. There's a difference. I don't tell you what to do. I make recommendations, and ultimately it's up to you to make the decision as to what you're going to do. And then me as a supervisor, I follow up with that decision as to whether or not it's going to be this type of result or this type of result. And so we're just encouraging people just to remember the power that you have to be what you want. Of course, there are different circumstances that people have that kind of make it more difficult. But again, at the end of the day, the one thing that you can control in this world is yourself. And so it's important to utilize it to the best of your ability.
Love that. Last week we talked about taking responsibility. So I love that the one thing you have complete and utter control over is your own body, your own mind. Well done. So there's a lot of different directions we can go on this, and I listened to the Ivy League podcast. Y'all talk about a lot of good stuff on there, and then obviously know you personally, know what you're doing for the business. So I feel like there's a lot of tentacles, and I'm gonna try to keep it right here. But if I go,
It's
you
good.
just rock with me. So starting off, I see the late and great King Hustle in your background. Can you just say like what Nipsey to you represents and any like notable messages that you kind of take with you?
I mean, for me, honestly, he represents a lot. I really took his assassination to heart. Um, uh, because this was a young man who I'm not gonna lie and say like I was a huge Nipsey Hussle music fan. You know what I'm saying? I did like there were some songs that I liked, prior to his assassination. And I think his album, I was saying this before, when he was alive, I said that was a Grammy. That should have been won a Grammy, in my opinion. No shade to Cardi B. I think she had a great album as well, but I just felt like that album to me spoke, again, I said that when he was alive. But for me, one thing that he said that really kind of stuck out, he said, you can't force your expectations of me on me. He said that I'd rather, be at peace with myself and at war with the world than be at peace with the world and at war with myself. And so for me, that kind of stuck with me, and it's just much love. But I really respect what more than just the music. I respect what he stood for, and the moves that he was making amongst his community and trying to give back and trying to educate people going in. We're talking about everything from math and science and really just teaching people teaching people entrepreneurship. And for me, his assassination hit home because he was murdered the same day my little sister was murdered. And so it just really, like, I felt it, what I'm saying? I felt that energy. I was already feeling that energy that day. And so when I found out about his assassination, it kind of hit me a little harder. So for me, I'm trying to make sure that what he stood for doesn't die. Forget the raps, forget the lyrics, what the message that he was trying to send, as in, again, be your own boss, be an entrepreneur, own your craft, own the things that you do. Don't allow anybody else to take advantage of you. That's something that I kind of embodied and that I'll continue to push.
Big facts. And you already kind of talked about it a little bit, but your own kind of personal background and what initially got you into this career of education and what motivated you to, go off to college and get your own bachelor's as well. Can you talk a little bit about, the community that you come from and the motivation for education?
Yeah, I mean, I like you mentioned earlier, I come from Richmond, California. It's not many people would say that it's not the best environment. And I have 10 siblings, so I have a pretty big family. I'm the
Got the
youngest boy.
family reunion.
Yeah. So it's just coming from that and just watching, I'm the youngest boy, so watching my older siblings, go through life growing up in Richmond and me being the first in my family to go to college, because it just kind of worked that way, and I was lucky because of that. And one thing that I know is that I'm not absent of mistakes. I'm not absent of things that the same things that they were getting in trouble for with the law was the same things that I was doing. I just may not have gotten caught at that particular time, and so I understand that I lucked out, and it unfortunately took me getting in trouble with the law before I was able to kind of recognize, okay, you have to make a change, otherwise this is going to be your future. You've already seen what this kind of future looks like because you have so many older siblings that have had these type of issues, and so you have a choice. You can either follow the same thing, or you can make a change and go about life a different way. And so for me, I think I wanted to see what life would be like if I didn't choose that path, if I chose the other one. So it was difficult. There was definitely some things that happened in my life that kind of wanted to push me back towards my Richmond upbringings, my
Yep.
Richmond roots. But like I mentioned with my sister being murdered, but ultimately, I'm thankful that I didn't, because it puts me in the position to be where I am now. And ultimately my experience is actually my biggest, the thing that people gravitate to most is me talking about where I come from and what I've been through. So
Mm,
had I had made that decision, I would have never gotten the chance
right.
to be in this platform today to be able to talk with you all. So I'm thankful for those tough times. I didn't like it at the time, but I'm thankful for them now.
All right. Definitely on our behalf, sorry for your loss, but
Yeah.
thankful for the way you've been able to spend it and change lives and encourage other folks out there in the world for sure. So mindset. I think when you're coming from that type of community, trying to shift your mindset to do something maybe a little bit different, right? That's the mindset shift that Nipsey had to make. That's the mindset shift that you had to make, and a lot of other people who may be listening. What are some like just key points that you try to motivate folks on how they can shift their mindset, whether it's firing your boss, starting your health journey? Like, what's that trigger that you try to flip on for folks?
I think for me, it's all about recognizing what you want. What do you want in life? Because, again, like I said, I've already seen, what it's like to make bad decisions. I've seen, based on, again, luckily me being the youngest boy and having six older brothers, I was able to see some of the decisions that they made and what the outcome of that decision is. My mom didn't go to college, my dad didn't go to college, my brothers didn't go to college, my older sister didn't go to college. So I've already know what this path is going to look like. So, but I had to ask myself, is this what you want? And if not, then okay, what do you want? And once you're able to see, okay, this is what I want, then now it's all about, okay, it's kind of like with movies, right? Like they used, I don't know if they still do this, but back in the day they said that they would film the finale first and then work backwards. You know what I'm saying? And so that is kind of how I embody, as far as trying to be successful. It's write down the goal and then work backwards. How do you achieve that goal? So if your goal is to to get a 4.0, yes, that sounds good, but if you don't have a plan, my boy DT says, a goal without a plan is just a wish. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't have a plan and work backwards, okay, yeah, I want to get a 4.0. How do you do that? Okay, well, in order to do that, I got to get straight A's. Well, clearly, how do you get straight A's? That means I got to turn in every assignment. Okay, well, how many hours a week does that mean that I have to dedicate towards being able to work towards these assignments in order to get A's? So it's just working backwards for that particular goal that you have. And that's kind of what I try to talk to students about, is talk about where you want to go what do you want to be? And then try to find people that did it and ask them what was their path on doing that. See if you can, kind of get some mentorship in that aspect. But even if you can't, then you have to work backwards on your own and say, okay, what am I going to do to make this happen? And of course, there's going to be mistakes if you're just freestyling, you know what I mean? And they're going to be mistakes even if you have a mentor, but that's okay. The main thing is learning from each of those mistakes. For me, I'm a 30-year-old man. I've made plenty, and I mean plenty of mistakes in this path of trying to achieve greatness. But at the end of the day, I learned from those mistakes, and I made sure that I didn't make the same mistake twice.